Hey you guys, this message is for Laura, Kezi, and Hannah Marino. I know you guys will be coming to our meeting a few minutes late, and so I wanted to clue you in on some of the ways we'll spend our first few minutes that you will miss before you show up to our SALT meeting. The three things are, I want to go over the mission of who we are and what we're hoping to do as a SALT team, as a discipleship SALT team. Then I want to talk a little bit about the Trinity card that I handed you all. I have it right here. This one, you should have access to that. Carry that around with you. We will refer to it often, especially in our SALT meetings on Wednesdays. And then lastly, I had just a short snippet from Dallas Willard's book called Great Omission, The Great Omission. And so I want to do those three things for you. That's probably what we'll spend the first chunk of our meeting before you all show up, and you'll have access to that. So when you get a chance, if you're in class, you can't look at it before our SALT meeting, then after our SALT meeting, you'll at least have this video that will give you some of what we went through. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the screen around if I can. I'm not sure if I can or not. Let's see. No, I don't think I can. So what I'll do is just read this to you all, and you can follow along actually on our Google Drive. Our agenda for our SALT meetings will always be posted on our Google Drive. I think Diana mentioned already that we'll expect for you to stay in touch and in tune with what we discuss when you're not in our SALT meeting. Make sure you stay on that Google Drive document for our SALT meeting so that you can catch anything that you miss. And if you have questions about any of that stuff, don't hesitate to email us, Diana, myself, or your core leader, and we'll make sure to fill you in so that you're in the loop and on the same page with all of us. All right? So here's the mission of what we're hoping to do. Discipleship SALT exists to help D group leaders and their members pursue biblical relational discipleship by providing direction, encouragement, support, and accountability. We understand discipleship to be the process of learning and applying the way of Jesus through Christian community, spiritual and holistic renewal, aka transformation, and missional living. So that's what our focus is, and we want to remind ourselves of that on a weekly basis. So we'll always start our SALT meetings with that. So just go through that each time, especially since you three will be coming in a little bit late because of class. So make sure you just continue to go over that. Maybe go over that once a week. Let that be ingrained deeply in us so that we're really clear who are we and what are we hoping to do. The next thing is the Trinity card. So again, I referred to it as this card here. And today what I really want to focus in our thoughts with the card is simply the words of the song Holy, 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 which are on the back of the card. So we're going to listen to the song together as a SALT team before you show up, and we're just going to reflect on that and have an opportunity for our SALT team to kind of reflect and talk about what is it that they're hearing, what is it about this song, the praising of our God and understanding who He is that really touches us and speaks to us. So have a chance to do that, whether it's before or after our SALT meeting. Have a chance to listen to it. You can listen to any version. I don't care. Go to YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, whatever you want to do. Find the song called Holy, Holy, Holy. Listen to it, and then just think about what is it that song speaks to you directly. And then lastly, the devotion that I wanted to share is just a little snippet from Dallas Willard's book, The Great Omission. And so I'm going to read you a passage from that, and it's Dallas Willard reflecting on an earlier work by Dietrich Bonhoeffer called The Cost of Discipleship. You may have heard about that book. Great books, both of these, The Cost of Discipleship and The Great Omission. They're both focusing on the gap in Christian discipleship, Christian formation within the church of taking people from believers from being at a place where they have declared and stated and maybe been converted, maybe experienced salvation, but have not taken that next step of what does it mean to grow and develop and become active disciples in the work of God. And so here's what Willard has to say, and I'll just read this section to you, so just follow along. It's on page 8 in case any of you own the copy of The Great Omission. He says, in 1937, Dietrich Bonhoeffer gave the world his book, The Cost of Discipleship. It was a masterful attack on easy Christianity or cheap grace in the context of mid-20th century Europe and America, but it did not succeed in setting aside, perhaps it even enforced, the view of discipleship as a costly spiritual excess and only for those especially driven or called to it. It was right and good of Bonhoeffer to point out that one cannot be a disciple of Christ without forfeiting things normally sought in human life, and that one who pays little in the world's coinage to bear his name has reason to wonder where he or she stands with God. But the cost of non-discipleship, this is the point of emphasis, is far greater, even when this life alone is considered, than the price paid to walk with Jesus, constantly learning from him. Non-discipleship costs abiding peace, a life penetrated throughout by love, faith that sees everything in light of God's overriding governance for good, hopefulness that stands firm in the most discouraging of circumstances, power to do what is right and withstand the forces of evil. In short, non-discipleship costs you exactly that abundance of life Jesus said he came to bring. The cross-shaped yoke of Christ is, after all, an instrument of liberation and power to those who live in it with him and learn the meekness and lowliness of heart that brings rest to the soul. Those are the few things that I hope to share, Diana and I, before the three of you show up to SALT. So if you get this video and you watch it, then you should be caught up to speed. And I'll try to do something like this just about every week for the three of you. All right, we'll see you soon. And when you walk in, don't be embarrassed or nervous. Just come on in, jump in, and we'll keep rolling. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.